Hello there, and welcome again to the program. This is Energy and You, a weekly show that highlights developments in the energy sector with a focus on the activities of NNPC Limited. I'm Egusa Egumbo. This week, I can see a medical intervention program of the National Oil Company launched in Imo State. It's a corporate social responsibility initiative in partnership with Seplat Energy. And in another joint effort, NNPC Limited and Total Energies commissioned state-of-the-art cancer diagnosis and treatment center in faraway northeast of Adamawa State. We also have an update on the war on crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism. Details of these and more in just a moment. Please join us again. Well, let's begin the show with top stories in the global energy space this week. Oil prices extended gains at the start of the week, driven by uncertainties in the global commodities markets because of the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East. Brent neared $80 to build on last week's steepest weekly gains in more than a year. Brent crude futures rose by $1.11 to sell at $79.16 per barrel. Investors are reported to have sold futures to lock in their gains from the recent climb amidst concerns that Israel could strike Iranian oil infrastructure in response to an October 1 Iranian missile attack on Israel. However, analysts say OPEC Plus has millions of barrels of spare capacity since it has been cutting production in recent years to support prices amidst weak global demand and to compensate for a full loss of Iranian supply if Israel knocks out Iran's oil facilities. BP plc, a United Kingdom-based integrated energy company, has abandoned the target to cut oil and gas output by 2030. The CEO, Murray Auchincloss, is scaling back the firm's energy transition strategy to regain investor confidence. In 2020, when it was unveiled, BP's strategy was the sector's most ambitious, with a pledge to cut output by 40%, while rapidly growing renewables by 2030. And in southern parts of Nigeria, the management of AIPCC Energy, owners of Edo Refinery, has announced an 80,000 barrels per day refinery expansion in Koko, a border town between Edo and Delta states. This was after the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority concluded its crude distillation assessment on the project. The company has said it's expecting to import the first cargo from the refinery by May 2025. It lists diesel, naphtha, and fuel gas as some of its byproducts, adding that the company is hopeful that by the time the plant is completed, the upstream regulator would have allocated crude to the refinery through the domestic crude supply obligation. You're watching Energy and You. Now, in the remote Ohaji Egbema community of Imo State, a life-changing initiative is making a profound difference. NNPC Limited, in joint venture partnership with Seplat Energy, recently launched its Eyes Can See program, a corporate social responsibility endeavor that is aimed at restoring vision and reigniting hope for those in need.
Through this impactful outreach, the joint venture between NNPC Limited and Seplat Energy has provided free eye care health services to over 20,000 individuals since its inception in 2017. In the latest edition, the team dispensed more than 10,000 reading glasses and successfully performed 639 eye surgeries, including cataract removals for community members who previously had limited access to such vital medical care. According to the Chief Upstream Investment Officer, NNPC Upstream Investment Management Services, Mr. Balawunti, the project is not just about restoring vision, it is about giving people hope and the opportunity to lead fulfilling lives. Mr. Balawunti, who was represented at the event by Dr. Obina Otu, Manager JV Asset B, added that the I Can See program goes beyond immediate medical intervention by educating individuals on lifestyle choices that can prevent conditions like hypertension and diabetes, which can lead to permanent vision loss. He also stated that the joint venture's dedication to the I Can See program is rooted in its belief that corporate entities should play a vital role in societal development. This holistic approach is a testament to NNPC Limited's commitment to sustainable community development. By expanding the reach of this transformative initiative, NNPC Limited and Seplat Energy joint venture is paving the way for a brighter future where access to essential health services is possible for all. Through the I Can See program, they are not only restoring vision but also reviving hope, one life at a time.
NNPC Limited is continuously engaging its partners in efforts to deliver on sustainable community development projects. In collaboration with Total Energies Upstream Nigeria Limited, a state-of-the-art mammography center was recently commissioned at the Garkida General Hospital, Gombe local government area of Adamawa State. This is in fulfillment of its corporate social responsibility program in alignment with the UN's Sustainable Development Goals SDG 3 on health as a major priority.
The state-of-the-art mammography center stands magnificently at the Garkida General Hospital, Gombe local government area of Adamawa State. This owes to the production sharing contract PSC partnership between NNPC Limited and Total Energies Upstream Nigeria Limited with collaboration from Sapetro, CNOOC, and Prime 130. The edifice, equipped with modern diagnostic facilities, represents a significant milestone in the healthcare sector aimed at combating breast cancer and other forms of cancer in Nigeria, especially among women in rural communities. The mammography center includes a 20-person reception area, radiologist's office, mammography technician bays, and a treatment room for image-guided biopsies. The facility also includes a 60 kVA power generator, ensuring continuous operation in the rural setting. The center's goal is to increase access to cancer screening and treatment for women in underserved communities, contributing to the fight against breast cancer in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal SDG 3, which is focused on good health and well-being. Emphasizing on the joint commitment of NNPC Limited and its partners in improving healthcare across Nigeria, the Chief Upstream Investment Officer, NNPC Limited, Mr. Bala Wunti, stated that the mammography center further illustrates the dedication of all partners involved to enhance quality healthcare, which symbolizes hope and resilience. Mr. Wunti also highlighted the societal impact of the project, underscoring the importance of collaboration in delivering sustainable community development projects. Emphasizing NNPC as a responsible organization, Wunti said the company remains committed to giving back to the society in which it operates through various intervention programs across healthcare, education, and economic empowerment. Mr. Matthew Boyer, Managing Director of Total Energies Upstream Nigeria Limited, reflected on the broader corporate social responsibility initiatives in such partnership. According to Boyer, the completion and commissioning of the mammography center is yet another effort at bridging the gaps in access to quality healthcare, particularly maternal and child health. As the purpose-built, fully equipped facility designed for early detection and treatment of breast cancer is handed to the Adamawa State government, the goal of NNPC Limited and its partners is to increase access to cancer screening and treatment for women in underserved communities, thereby contributing to the fight against breast cancer in line with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal SDG 3, focused on good health and well-being. The project highlights the unwavering commitment of NNPC and Total Energies PSC partnership to the sustainable development of Nigeria through ongoing investments in critical infrastructure.
We'll take a moment here to share some terminologies used in the energy sector. Stay with us. You are still watching Energy and You. Time now to update you on NNPC's ongoing war against crude oil theft and infrastructure vandalism.
The war on crude oil theft is on, and the industry-wide security collaboration on hydrocarbon infrastructure continues to record remarkable progress. Between the 28th September and 4th October 2024, 161 incidents were recorded across the Niger Delta region. These incidents were detected and reported by NNPC Limited's Command and Control Centers, Tantita Security Agency, Shell Petroleum Development Company, Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, Maton Engineering Nigeria Limited, and government security agencies.
One of the most heartbreaking sights occurred at Lasubeni, Bayelsa State, where security forces battled to clamp down on a vandalized pipeline. Crude oil gushed relentlessly from the bridge, causing environmental degradation and massive revenue loss for the country, an incident that highlights the devastating impact of oil theft.
In Imbekiba and Kasama communities in Bayelsa State, as well as Akampamire in Delta State, illegal connections were discovered and the pipelines swiftly repaired. Meanwhile, in Rivers and Abia states, illegal refineries were dismantled with security personnel conducting raid in areas like Buguma, Bile, Okrika 7, Omuku Town, Ora, Ipu South, and Mwakalu. Equally alarming were the discoveries of illegal storage sites in Bile River State and Fantuo in Bayelsa State, where stolen crude oil was being stockpiled. In Obodo Madino, Delta State, security forces thwarted an attempt to vandalize a wellhead, while another act of vandalism was recorded in Azama community, Bayelsa State. On land, vehicles loaded with stolen crude oil were intercepted at Owa Alidimma, Delta State, while on the waterways, wooden boats carrying stolen crude oil were seized at Waribokiri in Bayelsa State, Okoloma and Bile in Rivers State, and Ubozo in Abia State. The incidents were spread across 4 major corridors: 14 incidents in the Western Corridor, 54 in the Central Corridor, 34 in the Eastern Corridor, and 59 in deep blue water. During this period, security agencies arrested 5 suspects who have since been handed over to government security agencies for further investigation. For NNPC Limited, there is no backing down on the war on crude oil theft until the menace is eradicated for good.
To report crude oil theft or suspicious activities within your area, call the numbers on your screen now, or send an email to report@stopcrudetheft.com. Handsome rewards await the whistleblower. Do your part. Report oil theft today.
Nigeria is significantly taking concrete steps in the utilization of its abundant natural gas reserves towards improving energy security, attracting investments, and deepening collaboration with key partners. As the transition journey continues, NNPC Limited is demonstrating its commitment through the CNG initiative and has recently expanded its LNG export and revival of LNG projects. While keying into this, NNPC New Energy Limited, the business unit with the mandate to streamline initiatives towards a renewable energy future for Nigeria, advocates for behavioral change at all levels for Nigeria's energy transition journey. We had a chat with the Managing Director of NNPC's New Energy Limited, Mr. Kanayochukwu Odoye. He discussed the mandate of NNPC New Energy Limited and the strategies being deployed on the future of clean energy for Nigeria. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
Now, NNPC Limited became the first state-owned oil company to sign up to the UN Global Compact. What does this mean for the company and Nigeria in general in its campaign for cleaner energy?
The move by NNPC Limited to sign up to the Global Compact initiative suggests that, or is an illustration that NNPC is committed towards moving to renewable energy. Now, the implication of this will be that Global Compact will monitor our commitment. Right. And some of these commitments include what percentage of our budget will go to, budget in this case being NNPC Limited, which is our mother company, percentage of our budget that goes towards renewable energy drive, the kind of engagements we have with leading players in the energy field, and they will also track our implementation or our drive towards renewable energy.
Now, in talking about commitment, what's the future of fossil fuel and biofuels in Nigeria, and are we really prepared to transition to cleaner energy?
We have to leapfrog, and one of the great advantages we have here in this part of the world is the resources, the substrates required to go towards the renewable energy drive are in abundance. The technologies are not so complex, and it depends on which part of the technology you want to go with. For instance, solar, okay, now we talk of biofuels. Those are things that you don't really need any complex technology to engage in or to produce or to manufacture. So we can actually on our own go into production of biofuels. Then we have geothermal energy, where we can use the fields we have, some of our fields, oil fields that are there, high pressure and high temperature fields, to generate energy. The other part of it too will be biogas from waste. We have abundant waste around, both agricultural waste and human waste, that we can convert to some form of energy, renewable energy.
But what are some of the behavioral changes that you think we should begin to adopt in order to attain clean energy culture?
So one of them will be implementation of laws, what we call hard laws, right? And these hard laws are government regulations or government laws and the enforcement provisions as well. So we can have strict liability enforcement where people violate laws and we don't care, or the government will not care where or who committed the offense. It becomes a strict liability. As long as the waste or the abuse is before your property, you pay. Now, with respect to soft laws, this is more individualistic. So even in your neighborhood, when you see people throwing trash, people wasting energy, people throwing things that will otherwise or can otherwise be used to generate energy, you call them to order.
But it's okay to have laws, but then again, how do you encourage people to embrace the culture of recycling in our drive for clean energy?
One part of it will be through education, formal and informal, with our children, and then through newsprint, news jingles. And there's another part to recycling that I think we haven't really looked at, and that is the health impact.
Right.
Of not recycling. Some of our wastes that we put and we throw out carelessly can actually be carcinogenic over time because of leaching and leachate and going down to the groundwater table. Second part of this is when we don't recycle properly and we throw out indiscriminate waste and there's no enforcement of laws like we have now, what will happen is the kind of floods we are seeing because of blocks or blockage of drainages, pipes, and whatever what we have. In fact, it also affects wildlife as well,
right,
or sea life.
But while we talk about this, I mean, let's look at what's the strength of our recycling industry in Nigeria, and are there areas that we need to improve upon?
this is where regulation or government policies have to come to play. For instance, in Kenya and in Rwanda, they've actually banned plastics, and 32 other countries. Government can do the same. Right. So the first step could be ban importation of plastic raw materials, and we use what we already have because we have them in abundance, and we can start to recycle them till they kind of phase out. Secondly, the waste, where we have indiscriminate dumping at the dump sites. There's putrefaction going on. There's emission of noxious gases, greenhouse gases, and there's actually a law in place, the Climate Change Act of 2021 in Nigeria, that speaks to that. But there must be enforcement. Right. So there's an interplay between the federal government, the state government, and the citizens.
Interesting. Now talk to us about the investment opportunities available when you adopt clean energy and what this portends for the economy, in terms of the benefits.
One part of clean energy is solar. We know we're having a lot of power problems all over Nigeria. And part of it has to do with grid supply of electricity. But you can have in situ solar power in villages. And once you do that, automatically productivity improves. This is one. Two, there is actually a company in Nigeria now that takes seaweed that causes a lot of problems along the Lagos waterways. Right. And that company converts this seaweed to biofuel that they use to cook. Now, you solved two problems, or addressed two problems simultaneously. One is this: in converting the seaweed, economy is prospering because it's hiring people, logistics companies to distribute. The second part of this is when the seaweed starts to grow, and it normally starts to grow, I think around September, December, during the dry seasons, it affects the fish life, wildlife, and this affects those fishermen who catch the fish to sell. That affects the economy as well. All right. So you can see the interplay with our clean energy and the life of the citizens. So there are enormous opportunities, but again, there must be support from state government, federal government. And I'm one who advocates for free markets. But even with free markets, there's a role for government to play.
Just before I let you go, are there any projects that the company is embarking on to promote biofuels?
Currently, we're actively engaged with Kebbi State government and also our partner that we working in a tripartite arrangement, 3D High Tech. So the purpose of that arrangement, the joint venture, is to produce ethanol from cassava and then use the ethanol as a blend with PMS. The other thing we're also looking at, and we're working actively at, is to produce biodiesel and we're currently talking with Cross River government to grow palm plantation and to refine it for biodiesel that can be used as jet fuel, implementing some kind of technology to transform the organic compound.
Okay, so I'd like to say thank you very much at this point, and I'm wishing you success in all your endeavors. Thank you so very much for joining us on the program. I've been speaking with Mr. Kanayochukwu Odwe, Managing Director, NNPC New Energy Limited. The program returns in a moment. Stay. Tomorrow. So come on, let's go. Nigeria is endowed with abundant natural resources ranging from crude oil to natural gas and including resources in the mining sector. Now, from crude oil and natural gas, numerous byproducts are extracted, making these natural resources timeless and critical for our daily lives. Popular byproducts from crude oil include PMS, DPK, and diesel. And from natural gas, we have LPG, LNG, and CNG. Now, out of curiosity, Energy and you went to the streets to find out what Nigerians know about these products, their differences, and usage. Take a look.
We get candle wax out of the crude oil. We have the normal petroleum, petrol. We have the diesel. We also have the CNG. We also have materials which are used, even for our clothing.
We have kerosene, fuel, gas, LPG, which is used for cooking. There are some LPG powered cars as well.
Jet A1, that is the one we use for aviation fueling. We have asphalts and all those things that are byproducts of crude.
We have petrol, we have gas, we have diesel, we have kerosene, and some others.
For the gas area, we have the CNG. We also have the gas we use for gas cooking. The CNG, I think there's a new development which we use on cars at the moment.
We have petrol, diesel, and kerosene. LPG for cooking, CLG for also transportation.
A lot of things have been gotten from the crude oil. We have the likes of petrol, we have the likes of diesel, we have a lot of things that have been gotten from there, which are very good to humanity and humanity consumption.
And that's our show today. Thanks for being a part of it. If you missed any parts of it or previous episodes, you can catch up by scanning the code on your screen now. Remember to follow us on all our social media handles shown on your screen to get updates on the activities of NNPC Limited. Keep a date with us again next week on this station. I'm Egusa Igumbo. Bye for now.